Recording. All right. Hi, everyone. I see we have one or two more attendees joining us. Hello and welcome to the wonderful world of the hidden treasures of iVend Retail POS Part 4 of this series that we're doing on here. My name is Keith Morrison. I'm the Manager Consulting for Africa. It's so wonderful to go see that we have such a wonderful turnout today. I can see we have people here from all over, everywhere from Timbuktu to Tibet, across from Kalimantan all the way to Kamchatka over here. So we've got and all the way across to Cape Town and all the way north to John O'Groats. So we really have a worldwide turnout, and I'm very glad to see that. Ladies and gentlemen, please indicate if you can go and see my screen at the moment by either raising your hand or asking or just typing it into the question box or the chat, and then we will continue on with this. Because there's nothing worse, I know, than going and speaking about a blank screen, and you're merely demonstrating, and then nobody actually knows what's going on. All right. Okay. Okay. If you guys can demonstrate, can just go show me that you're seeing my screen at the moment. Okay. I think we're waiting for one or two more. But okay, all right, so I see that you can see my screen. All right, so let's get going. Yes, there we go. Thank you very much. PKJ. There you go. All right, so let's continue on over here. So as you can see, this is the wonderful world of iVend Retail POS. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to raise your hand or to go and to either raise your hand or ask the question in the question bar. If you do have any questions as I go through this, if you've been to any one of my webinars before, you know I welcome questions because I'm pretty much sure that the only stupid question is an unasked one. So if you can please go and please keep that in mind as we go through. So what's on the agenda today? So first off, we got a couple of POS Minis. Yeah, minis, thousands of them. So these ones over here are just some little things that the POS does that are not immediately thought of with the POS. So things that you can do with it that just go and show, hey, you know, this is how we're going to extend the POS. This is how we can go use the POS in new and interesting ways to go and actually enhance its usefulness. And it's something that a lot of people really appreciate, and they don't actually realize that it's there until they actually use it. A couple of hidden dashboard treats because, well, you know, those dashboards just are the gifts they keep on giving. So we go and we have a look and do a bit of a deep dive into a bit of a dive over there to go and see exactly what goes on there. Import and export features in iVend, because if there's one thing I've discovered, this is one thing we do very well, is importing and exporting data. A lot of trust me, a lot of the other systems I've had to deal with do not import or export data in anywhere near as nice a format as we do. And then finally, capturing additional information at the point of sale. So on with the show. So now some little POS Minis, some things that you can just go use over there. First up we've got is donations. Then we'll have a quick look at gift cards and payment discounts and surcharges. So now what am I talking about over here for donations? Well, let's go and quickly swing across to the iVend Management Console, believe it or not, because this is the place where we can go and set it up. Now, in your retail profile, over here, retail config, retail profile, select the specific one, you'll see that there is a line here for a donation product setup. Now, the entire idea of this is that when you are doing your when you're selling, there's obviously some rounding going on in the background for your pricing for your products. And this product over here is the product that posts that extra little bit of rounding to. So you select this line, open over here, in which case it will do a product search. If you do want to, if there is a specific product you want to put it to, it will go and list that over here. If naturally, I would not suggest putting it to something like women's tanks. The entire idea is that this is going to be a new product, which will be a which will then be a very specifically sales-only item. Now, the entire idea is that this is not an item that you're actually going to be selling. It's just an item there to go take that additional bit of rounding and post it to it, and then that can be used to go and donate to your different charities. Obviously, when tied in with an ERP, the entire idea of this donation product is it will go and you will then be able to determine the exact GL accounts it goes opposed to, and with that you'll be able to then say, okay, these accounts are my donation accounts. This is at the end of the year what I'm going to be using for my donations through to whichever charity you choose. So from there, and here we go. Oh, sorry, I meant to actually go onto this slide first. Now, this over here, that all happens in the background. You don't actually need to worry about that. It doesn't pop up on the till slip. You can actually go just keep that in the background for iVend and just keep it going. Now, next one up that we've got is payment surcharges and payment discounts. Now, these two are actually quite closely linked because you'll actually see them when I actually go across to the point of sale. Let's just go bring up a quick item to sell, the ever-famous men's Ralph Lauren suit, and I go to payments, and let's say I select cash. Now, when I do that, you see they have these discount and surcharge lines over here, and the entire idea about these discount and surcharge lines is that you can either punish the shopper for using it. For instance, if they're trying to buy a can of Coke or a single lollipop or something like that, and they're trying to pay with a credit card, you can then put a surcharge on it and go say, hey, you can't buy I see I have a question. Okay, right. Yes. Mr. PKJ Jane? What is the question over there? No questions? Okay, guys. If you do have a question, just type it into the questions box, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. All right. So over here we've got the like I said, we've got the discount and surcharges. So the entire idea is that you can either go and you can either punish or reward the shopper for going and using a specific payment type. So the entire idea is to either go and encourage people to go use a specific payment type. Might be, for instance, you want them to use cash. So hey, you pay above a certain amount and you'll get a discount. Or otherwise, you'll go and want to punish them for going and trying to buy something, for instance, a trivial item with, say, a credit card. Please be aware, these over here can be regulated per region. I know, for instance, out here in South Africa, where I'm currently based, that the surcharge is technically illegal if you do that. So, but once again, this is a per country thing. It's not to say that wherever you may be, it will probably be different. Please just be aware that there could be repercussions on that side. Now, in order to go set these up, once again, we head to our wonderful management console over here, go across to financials, select our payment types, and in this particular case, I'm going to select credit card because it just makes more sense. Click edit, and then over here at the bottom of the payment type, you'll see two buttons. One says surcharge, one says discount. No prizes for guessing what they do. Well, actually, yeah, here we go. So let's go and we can then go add in a specific surcharge. So right there, if I have a surcharge that's set up over here, I can add that in for specific dates. I mark it as enabled, and obviously once it exceeds the dates, it will then disable itself. And then I can go set the payment amount for how much it needs to be less, and then the surcharge will automatically kick in. And much the same way, if I go to discount, right there, I can select the discount type as an amount or percent, what sort of discount it's going to be, from, to, enabled, and for payments greater than a certain amount, then I can go get that there. To give you an example of one of these payment discounts, we have a customer in in Italy that I was busy going and implementing, and one of their things was if you pay more than 2,000 euros in cash, you will get a 2% discount. At which point I went and I said, well, I'm pretty sure if you're paying 2,000 euros in cash, you don't care about the 2% discount. But anyway, they seem to want to go put it in, so that's something that you can go put in over here. All right. So quickly moving back on to our last little one, and that is the gift cards. Now, the gift cards are something that we go and we do see a fair bit of usage of, but this is also something that is something that can be used and can be expanded upon quite a bit, because we've got a couple of options over here in the gift cards that really make them more available, more ready to use. As you can see over here, I'm using the demo stack, and I've got two options over here that I'm going to discuss. The first one is the store gift card, and we're just going to go open that. And this store gift card over here is fairly straightforward. It's got a base price of $100, right? We've over here we've got the certificate type. Is it either system generated, user defined, or is it pre-printed? Remember that if it's pre-printed, that can cause issues because effectively it becomes equivalent to money. So if it's pre-printed, it needs to be tracked, and that's why we have stock transfer shipments and stock transfer receipts for pre-printed gift certificates, because as well as goods receipting them into the system, because you need to keep track of those ones, because normally they are serial numbered. So that is something to just remember, is that if it is pre-printed, you need to keep very close eye on them, because there's nothing worse than somebody going and wandering off with a big book of gift certificates and then spending them willy-nilly. So with this system generated, it will actually generate it according to a number range that as you go and you define in the system. That will then go print out on your till slip, or it will then be emailed off if you're using your iVend passes. So a user store credit, well, I'll show you what that one does in the next one. You set your validity period. Typically your validity period is normally about 180 days. Remember that when you go and you sell a gift certificate, there is actually a set of an amount that is set aside for it in your actual ERP system, or there should be, in order to just go cater for the amount that's been sold, because technically you might have received the revenue for it, but it's just a stopgap until somebody actually takes the actual item out of the store. So that is something to just keep in mind. And that is also why we have the expiry function on the gift certificate. Can you do cash back on this? And this is essentially somebody cashing out the gift certificate, which is not necessarily something that retailers want to do. The reason why? Well, I've got your money. You can't spend it anywhere else. Why do I want to give you your money back so you can go spend it with other people? Yeah, no, it doesn't work so well for the retailers, but it is available if that's necessary. On hold does have a UPC code. Do you allow price overrides? And this is quite important, because for a price override, for instance, Granny comes in and wants to buy little Johnny a gift certificate for his birthday. And Granny says, well, I want to spend $150 on it. This over here will allow the person issuing the gift certificate to go and actually issue out $150 instead of the straightforward $100 that we have here. Open price, open description, and then finally connect the various values connecting through to the past templates. Finally, must swipe card. This is for the gift certificates that are excuse me. This is for the gift certificates that are actually set as that are actually pre-printed, and they are they are normally the plastic cards with a barcode on it where you must swipe it in order to go trigger it and go say, okay, it's now swiped. There we go. This card is now active. So that is all the setup over here in the system. Like I said, beyond that, you can also do the goods receipts, shipments, transfers, and then finally go and expire them. But the next one I want to show you is also a slightly different kind of gift certificate, and this is quite important because this one over here is the store credit gift certificate. Now, the store credit gift certificate means essentially if somebody comes back and asks to go and exchange a certain item, you can give them store credit as opposed to going and giving them the full a full gift certificate. That means that as well, the same logic applies for that you have for the gift certificates, which is you're not giving them money so that they can go off and spend it somewhere else. They're forced to spend the money at your store. So that way, the retailer wins either way. All right, so that is something else that to just keep in mind. And we can then go and start selling these things at the point of sale. And I'm just going to go cancel. Pardon, I'm just going to go cancel so I get back to my screen. Let's go to my transaction mode, gift certificate, and then it will ask me for my different gift certificate types, store credit. And then over here, obviously it's asking for the amount. So let's do $150 for little Johnny. And of course, it's now asking for the serial number. So in this particular case, it's asking for the store clerk to enter it in, as opposed to going and actually using it as opposed to going and saying it's a store gift card. A store gift card. Right there, you'll see that it actually goes and blanks out the serial number because it will assign it. And there you go. We see we have a gift certificate for $100 over here. So on with the show. Right, so that over there is our gift certificates, and also, like it says, possibility to recharge, as well as possibility to create the gift certificate in the passes platform. The passes are not something that we're going to look at so much today, but it is something that does, remember, please remember the passes do fall within the entire expanse of iVend. So, here we go. On with the show. So now there are a couple of hidden dashboards that we'd like to go and just show you at the point of sale, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people know about them, and they know about them at the management console side. But do you know that these these dashboards exist at the point of sale as well? So here's one. There's the customer, and then there's also the product. So let's just go quickly across to my point of sale, and this is also part of the reason that I have not gone and completed this sale yet. And here's my customer ID. At the moment, this is just set to my cash customer. Let's go to someone a bit more exciting, like Edward Robinson, who, as you should all know, is one of the main users that we use to demo everything here. Click Edit, and you'll see up at the top corner. Please remember, I still have the dashboard access over here. It's the same thing like over here. I have the dashboard access in my customer screen. And where's Edward over here? There he is. Right, same one over here. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same dashboard, as you will see shortly. Okay, as it just prepares. So here's the dashboard on the management console side, and if we go across to the point of sale, you'll see exactly the same dashboard over here on the as in the point of sale as in the management console. So please remember, this is very handy because this dashboard can be actually accessed via our POS Designer. So that I certainly know that I have a couple of customers where we've used this specifically because they want to go and say, they want to be able to give their salespeople the ability to say, you had your, for instance, the one place is a car service place. You had your car serviced with us 6 months ago. Have you checked your oil? Have you, how are your tires doing? We made a note over here that that you had some juddering in your right back tire. There we go. If I can finally say it, you had some juddering in your right back tire. Why has that been sorted out? Can we attend to it? You know, last time you said that there was a bit of an issue, and because it's a dashboard and you can go put together it in whatever way you want. Remember, you can link all of these dashboards through to different things, and that way you can actually go have them. You can have them populate on their own. This means that, and please remember, this dashboard is fully customizable. Okay, so that's the one dashboard there, but now obviously that's the customer one. But Keith, how do we get to the item one? Product search. Let's go to just a quick product search. And let's go over here. So we'll go to, let's go to the Ralph Lauren suit. And then please remember, you can still click F7 view at this particular point. When you click that, you get access to the dashboard. Ta-da! All right. That over there means that you can go see, and remember, once again, completely customizable. You can go change this and update this whichever way you want. This makes it far easier to go and see exactly what's going on. And it also goes and can give people information about the product. Specifically, things like, lifetime of the product, what it does, is it warranted against things? And remember, it's not just necessarily sales info you're putting here. There's a lot of other things as well. And giving that information to the salesperson also means that they can go put it in place and they can get things sorted. And they will have the information there at their fingertips as opposed to having it lost under a mound of paperwork somewhere. All right, so those are two of our hidden dashboards over there, but we do actually have some others, and these ones are our mobile POS hidden dashboards. So congratulations if any of you were thinking that you haven't seen these before. This is something that has popped up in our latest version of the mobile POS. In fact, I think it's for the last 2 versions now we've had it. So in order to bring this up, I bring you the power of SideSync. So here we are. I am now in my, this is my tablet that I've connected via my Wi-Fi to my machine. Let's see if we can get there. What I need to do is I go, once I've logged in, I come to my transaction selection screen, I scroll down, and there's my dashboard. So from this dashboard, I can then see things like transactions by value. And there we go. Sales, quotations, orders, transactions by count. There we go, refunds. And these are all pre-built in. You can print them, you can email them, and you can also do filters on them. So that is something else if you want to go and expand the filter from date, to date, customer group, products, to, from product to product group. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do over here. Please, and this is something that I find it's here, and a lot of people sort of know about it. It's sort of, oh yeah, that's there. But guys, actually, these are things that are becoming more and more useful today for people to actually go and understand what is going on. Particularly, particularly the dashboards that happen at the actual normal point of sale, because those ones actually go and those ones you can go and deploy in different places, and they really help the salesperson, help remind this, help the salesperson and help remind the salesperson when they have things to do. So that is something else to go and consider. All right, so here we go. Like I showed you, transaction by value, by count, tender collection, and, well, transaction detail, tender detail, and X-tape report. Seeing we are a little bit pressed for time, I'm going to go and just move on to the next one, which is the import and export. Now, I see I haven't, before I dive too deep into import and export, I haven't had too many questions yet. Is everyone still awake over there? Or have I bored everyone to death already? Yep, I'm definitely bored everyone to death. Yes, I can see over here. Right. Okay, guys. All right. Let's go and move on to the next one, which is the import and export. So over here, the thing about our import and export is that we actually use XLS as an import medium over here, which means that you can actually go and import in. You don't need to go import in directly from the Excel file. It means you don't need to go and bother with things such as, oh no, wait, I need to save it as text tab delimited. Oh no, wait, I need to go save it as CSV. Oh wait, it's CSV comma delimited. No, wait, it's CSV semicolon delimited. Those wonderful options. So because we don't do that, we instead go and allow it to import directly in from Excel itself. That means that you can go and use a lot more of your formulas, and also you can use multiple sheets. So some of these things some of the object types available to import and export: products, retail profile, teams, alternate items, and reason codes. And with that, let me just go and let me actually just show you where that happens. So, and I can tell you it doesn't happen at the POS. Over here in Management Console, let's just go cancel this. Now, application setup, import and export data. So I'm going to go start with the export data side, because this is the side that a lot of people start from. Because I find that the people who do use this, they go say, oh, I just come over here and I export it and then I use the template. Well, good news, sports fans, is that you don't need to do that. We do already have the templates available. And if I go over here to my folder, you'll see that they exist in C drive, program files, city access, iVend retail, management console, import templates. There is a whole stack of templates that you can use over here that are already predefined. So if you go to, for instance, say product, it will come up. It has got your values that you can put in here. It has an example line item, as well as it's also got your tooltips. So you can go and you will know exactly what to go put in over here. These are things that you can then go fill out. Please remember that this will still work even if you're integrated. So, and that is quite deliberate, because we know that what happens is people need to go and import things in, such as your various bonus buys and all the rest of it, when you are integrated into the system, integrated into a separate system, because ERPs don't handle things like bonus buys very well. So, all right, so this is already over here. Let me just go back across to my management console. I'm going to go say, let's export a customer. Okay, it's then going to go and ask me for which customers I want to export. So I'm just going to go say, let's go over here, and yeah, we'll go from let's go to John, and there you'll go and you'll see it's brought up John and the various usernames and field names associated with it. From here I can click export to XLSX. It will then ask me to it will then go ask me for a file name, and then data export is successfully. From there I can then go across to my folder, and I can open up the file. You'll see the difference over here. This file that's come across does not have the tooltips. It does have drop downs though, but does not have tooltips in place. So please remember, those other templates are actually quite a bit handier, because they do actually explain how things work. So that's available over here. Once you've finished going and modifying it, you can then go to import import data. Select your Excel file path that you're importing from, wherever it might be. So in this particular case, I can go select, say, on my desktop over here, select a specific file, click open. Once I've done that, I can then go select which page. So remember, it does actually ask you for which sheet it is over here. And then once I've done that, I can then go select which object type I'm going to import, and I will then be able to go and import them in. I'm not actually going to complete this now. We are under a bit of time pressure, so let's just continue on. All right, once you import it in, it will then give you a list of errors, if there are any, or otherwise it will go say that you are successful, and then you will have imported in and updated your customer. A couple of things just to be aware of when you are doing the import is, please be aware that when you're importing item matrix type items, that there can be issues. Right, and you do need to be careful on the way you do it. Remember to import the products and then the child items, and please try to do them together. Remember as well, if you do go make a mistake over here, it's not necessarily the end of the world, specifically with regards to products. With other things, yeah, it's the end of the world, but with products, there are actually some ways to go get out of it. So You can go here to operations, inventory, and then you can go and start adjusting products through your product list over here. So there are ways and means around it, and to be very honest, I do find that products is the area that most people go and have issues with when they make a mistake about importing stuff. So that's there, and that is there, and that's set up, and you can go import. Once you've imported in, you can then go and adjust things as you need to. Right, so additional information at the point of sale. Sales and transaction item attributes. Now, these are things that are actually very, very handy because there's a number of times when people want to go and capture additional information at the point of sale. Not just that, but they also want to go and put in additional fields at the point of sale for information to capture. With these sales attributes, we can both put in additional information to capture, as well as go and map it to an additional field in the ERP to go and actually capture the data in. So the example over here, for example, the customer telephone number in each transaction can be done, or the email address, or if there's, or one of the big examples that I use with this one that we did use is for our integration across to the duty-free stores. And the this over here at duty-free is very handy because in duty-free you need to go and record things like the customer flight, customer flight, customer details, customer airline they're traveling on, age, weight, girth, I don't know, all the rest of it, the kind of things that the wonderful people that are working at our airports these days need to go and record about you just because you want to go buy a small slab of chocolate. Right, and where do we do this? Well, first off, we go to administration, we go over here to retail configuration, and then we go to sales attribute. Directly below, transaction item attribute works exactly the same way. The only difference is that transaction item attribute works on a per item basis. So let's go to the sales attribute. I then go new. And I can go call this, let's call this email. I like that name. Okay, you can set where in the sequence this appears. So so you can go say which question gets asked first. Essentially, is it a required field or not? Where does it get captured? At the beginning or at the end of the sale? I'm going to do it at the end because, well, I just want to do it at the end. Validation type. Does it go against a table? Does it have valid values? If you go and you select valid values, you can start adding in values over here on the side, and you can go and you can then go fill those out. And yes, I'm going to delete those over there. I think I've added in maybe one or too many of those, but that's fine. So you can go and put in valid values for these things, and once you've put in that, you can then go and they can then just select a valid value. Very handy if you're doing age ranges. So 25 to 30, 31 to 35, 36 to 40, that kind of thing. Default value, if there is default value, is there a regex pattern that needs to be fulfilled? If you select table over here for validation type, you do need to go put in your table name. Is it integrated or not? And what is the integrated field name? If you tick this box, then it will be integrated across through to the ERP. I'm not integrated to an ERP, hence the reason I can't tick the box. So when you're integrated across, it will then go and post the values that you put into here into the ERP. All right, I'm going to go and put this over here. And it's not going to be valid values. I'm going to select none. And we are now going to go and click OK. All right, please remember that when you are looking for your sales attribute, the search automatically comes up as beginning of sale. You change it to end of sale. You go and you press F1, and it will go say, aha, here we go. We have now got this at the end of the sale. So where does this go and appear? I'm going to go click payments. Right there. In this particular case, I need to just go and quickly restart my point of sale. Let me just go finish up doing the sale over here. and let's ask for my customer information. Okay. All right, so let's just go over here and let's do another men's Ralph Lauren suit. And you'll see over here it's asked me to do the sales attribute collection. Over here I can put in my email, and then it will continue on. Please remember that any fields that you go and enter in there, you can go reference them in the database, so it is possible to pull a select on them. That does mean that you have a lot of things that you can actually reference, a lot of more info that you can put in and actually go and pull out of the system as you want it. Once again, this also works for the over here, transaction item attributes, because they are just, it also works in a very similar way. Only difference is that this happens for the items, and they, because of that, there are certain things that you can go put in to go make sure that they are filled out. Please remember, while it does activate for the items, it doesn't activate for a specific item. So if you want that, well, that's what extensibility is for. All right. Okay, so we're carrying on at a merry pace over here, and I can see that we're headed towards the next and last few bits of this, which is reason codes. And this, it's reason codes and comments in this particular case, I will say, because reason codes are actually something that you do want to go define in the system. And the entire reason for this, well, somebody needs to go tell you why they're going and they're doing things. And a perfect example of this is, for instance, if I went to my little back office menu here, I went expense, and then over here I can put in a reason code as well as a comment. Now I can enforce the entry of reason codes as well as comments in the retail profile. Let's head along to the retail profile here. And you'll go and you'll see over here, reason code details required. There we go. So where are reason code details required, which will be tick, 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 or where are comment details required, and you can go tick whichever ones you want. The entire idea with this is that this over here will go and will force people to go enter in comments and reason codes, be it for something as simple as an expense or a cash in or a cash out or any one of those places, including things for such as authorization. This over here will mean that they have to go and put in a reason, and hopefully you do not put in something like just expense for store or miscellaneous or other, because those are the ones, because inevitably those end up as the dumping grounds of every single reason that anybody can ever think of. It's always an other expense, which means that the auditors and the accountants tear their hair out trying to go and determine why something like a roll of thermal paper is that has got a specific reason code for it is now gone and marked as an other expense. And then finally we go and we well actually we get to the end of this over here. Guys, I'm now going to go open the floor for any questions that you have out there. Please let me know if you have any, and I will try and answer them. So I open the floor to you now. Any questions, or otherwise I will declare myself the world's greatest educator ever. Or I've put you all to sleep again. I don't know, I think I might have put you guys to sleep again. That's entirely possible. Right. Yep. No, definitely all asleep. Okay. All right, guys. If there are no questions, I am going to go and I'm going to go bring this to a close. Thank you so much for going and attending. It's been wonderful to have you guys here. I look forward to going and seeing you guys around at the next set of WebExes that we're doing. But I do hope you enjoyed your time. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and good morning, afternoon, evening, good night, wherever you may be. Thanks so much for joining us. Cheerio, guys. Bye.